Welcome to another edition of the Foreclosure Show. I am your host, L.W. Johnson. Today, we're going to cover how to stay in your home. How to stay in your home if you're in a foreclosure situation, if you're pre-foreclosure, if you can't pay your bills, if you're having issues. Now, a lot of people, when they're getting those letters from the bank, you're behind, you're a month or two behind, you're getting the letters, and a lot of people get nervous and scared and turn over the keys and actually move out of the property. But I'm here to tell you that just because you moved, just because you gave them back the keys, that doesn't let you off the hook. The letters don't stop. The lawsuits don't stop. The bank won't stop because the foreclosure process takes years. So it's not something that is going to disappear just because you gave them back the keys. You are obligated to the bank. You signed a contract with the bank, and they're going to hold you to it. You are obligated to the bank, and they're going to make you pay them their money. So what does that mean? What does all that mean? It means that even if you handed over the keys to them, which I'm seeing tons of people just walking away from property, and they'll just walk away and go, here, I can't deal with the pressure, I can't deal with the letters, I can't deal with the scorn, I can't deal with the shame, I can't deal with all of the above. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't stop just because they took the house. It doesn't stop because you gave them back the keys. The foreclosure process takes literally years for the bank to get the clearance from the courts to have you move out the property or get the sheriff to make you move. A lot of people, they get the sheriffs out there. But ultimately, here's what happens when you move. Okay, and we're going to make this a real short video. What happens when you move is that you're paying rent. So you get some money and you decide, okay, I'm going to go pay rent somewhere else. So all you're doing is, you still owe the bank their money, by the way. You still owe the bank their money. So you're going to now take good money and go pay rent somewhere because you're trying to escape the foreclosure that's still ticking. It's still going on because until they get the clearance from the bank, those months that you're not there, they're still charging you anyway. You get that? The months that you're not there, you're still being charged. It's still a running bill. And so when you now move into a new property, you're paying that landlord because you can't buy a new property because your credit's jacked up. So you are paying rent instead of, you could have just stayed in the house. It's on your bill anyway, and save your money, because after you're down 2 months, 3 months, the bank don't want your money anyway. They just want you out. They actually want your money. If you came up with the money, they take it, but it's got to be all the money, not in drips and drabs like you got. You know what I mean? So they're not going to take a half a payment. They're not going to take one payment. They want all the money. So if you're 3 months down, they want the 3 months right now, all cash in a cashier's check. So once that happens, your job is to A, sit still, B, go find legal representation that you could pay them on the back end, or C, you could call the bank up and try to work it out with them. What does that mean? That entails calling the bank and saying, Mr. Bank or Mrs. Bank person, I hit a little bump in the road. I have some money, but I can't pay you all the money now. Can you take the payments that I just missed? Because if you have been making payments all of this time and all of a sudden this is a bump in the road, this is not a weekly or monthly thing. So if you've got pristine record with them and you just hit a snag, you could call the bank up and say, hey, this never happened before. I can still make the payments, but can you move the payments that I'm late with to the end of the loan and make me current? Okay, I'm going to say that again. Tell them move the payments that are late, the 2 payments that you're down, to the end of the loan, so that you're now become current and now you keep making those payments. They'll do that for you as a one-time courtesy. They will do that for you. But you've got to pick up the phone and call them. You can't just let it fester and they get their attorneys. Because once they sick the attorneys on you, they're not going to do that. Once you're down 2 months, they're not going to turn off the attorneys, and you pay the attorneys, by the way. So it's the attorney fee is coming out of your end, not their end. Okay. So you got to read your contract, read your mortgage. So you could either do that, or you could go get a good attorney. Right now, especially New York, there's people who have been fighting foreclosure, and it took them 10 years, 15 years to get them out the house. But guess what? In 15 years, how much money could you have saved? How much, if you're spending $2,000 a month and you pocket that money instead, you're in foreclosure. Save your money. Save your money. And you do have options of buying another property, whether it's cash, whether it's owner financed property. You still have the ability to buy a property. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. Hold your head up. Just do not move. Do not move when you're in foreclosure. It's a chance for you to bank your money. The bank, you're still going to owe the bank. But when you're banking your money and saving your money, instead of paying rent somewhere else and be under pressure still, the pressure is now off of you. The cat's out the bag. The bank knows you can't pay them, or you haven't paid them, and you know you haven't paid them. Stop being nervous. Don't worry about the notices that they're sending you. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just live in your house and make a plan and stick to your plan. You should be making a plan of what's your next move. And the first move you should make is go get great representation. Go get an attorney who's done this before, who can fight them for you. Secondly, start saving your money. Those monthly mortgage payments you used to make, now you get a chance to save it. Don't go spend the money now. Don't go spending that money, because that's your nest egg. That'll be your ace in the hole. That will be the money that you will need to purchase a new property or do other things. But don't go spending the money just because the bank is chasing you. That's what you need to do. So you need to come up with a game plan in order to ride this out. And if it's 5 years, 10 years they take, guess what? 5 or 10 years at $2,000 a month, that's a lot of coin. So you got to make a plan, and you got to get an attorney. Now, if you get an attorney and you pay him up front, that's going to be cheaper. If you get a guy on the back end, an attorney on the back end, is going to cost you 30 or 40% of the house, the value of the house. Which, if you're not paying the mortgage, then you should just be paying the attorney, and the attorney won't be the same as a mortgage payment. Most of these attorneys will take $5,000, and they'll fight for you for like heck for 5 years, however long it takes in court. So anyway, that's the message today. This is L.W. Johnson. Stay in your house. Do not ever move. When you're in a foreclosure, you will regret it. The money is still on your bill. It's you still are responsible for the house. If people break in, it's still your house. If they kick in the doors, it's still your house. It's still on your record. It's still on your loan. It's still your house. You might as well stay and live rent-free or live mortgage-free instead of going to pay someone else rent because they keep sending you notices in the mail to pay the mortgage, or they're foreclosing on you. Forget about that. Dismiss that. Just live your life. Just make a game plan and you'll be fine. L.W. Johnson, Foreclosure Show. We're out.